Welcome to the Explainer, everyone. Okay, so today we're diving into something a little different and honestly a lot more terrifying. We're investigating a local mystery that's literally hiding right in plain sight. If you think you know the bustling, vibrant streets of India's capital city, well, get ready to have that perspective completely flipped. We're looking into the Ashok Vihar flyover. It's this everyday spot that has somehow blanketed an entire area in mystery and, frankly, dread. Buckle up, because this is definitely not your standard urban legend. I want to kick things off with this direct quote from our sources, which is basically a dare. This is a real story. If you think this is all a fabricated tale, you can visit this location. I just love that setup. It's a direct, chilling challenge to all the skeptics out there. You know, this isn't some campfire story about a haunted cabin in a faraway woods. This is rooted in a physical, highly trafficked location right in the middle of a massive metropolis. It totally sets the stage for our explainer today as a real-world challenge.
Section 1. Delhi's Terrifying Mystery.
Right. Let's establish exactly where we are. By day, Delhi's Ashok Vihar flyover, which is sometimes mentioned near the Sachewadi flyover in these stories, is just a crucial, heavily utilized traffic route. It's concrete, it's asphalt, it's just your standard daily commute. But it's a vital route by day and a totally feared nightmare by night. Our sources are very clear that once the sun goes down, the vibe of this very ordinary bridge totally transforms. It becomes so steeped in dread that the entire city essentially fears traveling across it after dark.
Section 2. Death under the tracks.
So where does all this intense fear actually come from? Well, to understand that, we have to look below the surface, literally. The whole legend is tied to the railway tracks situated right beneath the flyover. The local folklore states that years ago, a woman tragically died down there, cut down by a passing train. And because of that sudden violent end, people believe her restless spirit still wanders the area without any peace. Actually, it gets worse because the rumors suggest hers wasn't the only death. Word is that there have been multiple fatalities on this specific stretch of track over the years.
Section 3. The Terrifying Night Shadow.
Let's look at how this builds into a very tangible nightmare for the people driving through. If you happen to be crossing the flyover around midnight, the sources say an undeniably eerie atmosphere starts to settle in. But the real danger zone, the witching hour, that hits between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. That 3-hour window is when pique sightings occur of a mysterious shadow, almost always described in the lore as a woman wearing a white sari. And guys, this isn't just about seeing something spooky out of the corner of your eye. Passers-by report actual, severe physical symptoms. We're talking about sudden, intense dizziness and terrible headaches hitting them out of nowhere. It's described as this massive wave of negative energy. Just glancing down towards the railway tracks can apparently induce this overwhelming physical dread, almost like the environment itself is attacking your senses.
Section 4. Survival Rule, 40 kilometers per hour.
Now this is the part of the legend that is just incredibly specific and bizarre. 40 to 50 kilometers per hour, that is your golden survival rule. The local stories come with a very strict warning. If you drop your vehicle's speed below 40 kilometers per hour while crossing the flyover, the spirit will actively begin chasing your car. I mean, just imagine that for a second. You aren't checking your speedometer for traffic cameras. You're literally watching your speed to outrun a paranormal entity. So what happens if you don't maintain that speed? What if you actually pull over? Well, the sources outline some pretty dire consequences. First, a driver stops. Maybe they see a woman on the road and want to offer directions. Next thing you know, the vehicle mysteriously and completely breaks down. And then, the victim is said to be doomed to wander endlessly in that exact spot all night long, completely disoriented. These terrifying scenarios are most frequently reported by late-night call center cab drivers. You know, the people who literally have no choice but to drive these dark roads for a living.
Section 5. Rumor or Terrifying Truth.
This brings us to the big question we have to weigh. Is this a terrifying reality, or is it just an elaborate, fabricated community rumor? We're looking at a very sharp divide here. On one side, you have the late-night commuters, especially those cab drivers we just mentioned. For them, the fear is 100% genuine, sweat-inducing terror. They absolutely refuse to slow down or stop. But on the flip side, you have the skeptics. They completely dismiss the whole thing, blaming it on internet sensationalism, urban rumors, and people just acting up to create YouTube drama.
But regardless of where you stand, here is the factual takeaway from all of this.
Despite the skeptics, the Ashok Vihar flyover retains an undeniably eerie, haunted look and atmosphere at night. Whether people truly believe in the ghost in the white sari or not, the psychological weight of the location is real. It ensures that people still speed through it without stopping, figuring it's way safer to just rush past the mystery rather than hang around to find out if it's true.
Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on. Would you dare to slow down your car here at 2 a.m.? It's super easy to be a skeptic from the comfort of a bright, safe room in the middle of the day, right? But if you were actually behind the wheel, alone in the dark, watching your speedometer hover right at 40 kilometers per hour, would you test the legend? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and hey, if you ever find yourself on the Ashok Vihar flyover at night, maybe just keep your foot on the gas.